in Moddio, if I want to upload an animation or change my animation for my player, we first need to upload cell sheet / model. We'll upload from computer, and we need to find a cell sheet to add. Now the cell sheet I'm going to be using is this one. I'll put a link to this in the description down below, so go check that out if you want this one. But this has almost everything we'll need: an idle animation in every direction, a walk animation, an attack, and even a death animation. Now what we'll do is I'm going to upload this. Once it's uploaded, you will see that we get a cell width and a cell sheet height, and that needs to match with the column count and the row count. Now in my case, we have a 6 by 10 columns. So here we have 6 columns and 10 rows. The row is down and column is horizontal. Now you do need to make sure that these match up. So if I put 9, you'll see that it gives me an error because this divided by 9 gives a decimal, and that's not allowed. So we'll put 10 and submit. Now what we want to do is we could put the default animation and we could start changing this, but we're going to create our own here. So let's add a new animation and call this idle. We'll set the frames per second to 10, and we'll start adding the top cell sheet here. Once that's done, we can hit save. And now to actually use this, well, we would need to actually go to effects. And what we can do is set on create to idle, and then on idle to idle. Now, if we hit save and apply, you will see my player is a little wonky, but we might have to publish and save. Once you've published and saved, you'll see that my player now plays the idle animation. Now you can see though that the player doesn't really match what I want it to do. It's not rotating as like I want. And for you, you might actually notice that your pixel or your player is not pixelated. It's kind of blurry. Now, if you want a non-pixelated or whatever, you would go to the configuration settings on the editor, go to render, and you can pick either smooth or pixel art. You can even change the shadow quality. And yeah, all right. So we'll save and close because I'm using pixel art for my character. I want to see those pixels. Now, the first thing we can do to actually make my player stop rotating is go into my player, my survivor here, and we'll go over to the controls and turn this to true. And we'll turn this to false. We'll hit save and apply. And you'll see he stops rotating, but obviously he's not in the right rotation. So I'm going to hit save and republish. All right, so at this point, we have a player that kind of works. Now you can see the weapon is not working exactly like we might want it to. So what we could do is go to our axe, our weapon here, and we can change this. We can go to the body types. We can start changing this to weld. You can kind of change it however you'd like. You could even go to the weapon, or sorry, the controls, change this to true. You can turn this to false if you'd like. We can go to the survivor, and we could also go to the body types, and we could change the height and the width. If we want it to be a little bigger, we can simply increase these numbers. Now, usually you want the width and the height to match these. So you want to match whatever the number would be. Now, I don't have it off the top of my head, so I'm just going to put 100 and 100 and save, just to kind of show you that it will increase in size. There we go. Now you can see that the weapon is changing left and right when I move my cursor. And it still does kind of work. It's just not exactly what I might want, but I'll let you guys kind of adjust it to your game. And I do just encourage you to play around with some of the settings inside of the axe or inside of the player survivor. Kind of get what you want depending on what you have, because not all cell sheets are the same. You might not have a top-down player. You might not have a 4x4. But if you guys want more tutorials on how to set up, for example, this exact spell sheet, let me know down in the comments down below and we can get to that. So I'll see you guys in the next video.